Alrighty guys, it's time to talk about some heavy shit going down in Ukraine and Russia. According to British military intelligence, both sides are taking some major losses as Ukraine continues their counteroffensive. Apparently, Russian troops have been hit pretty hard, with Ukraine claiming to have killed or injured over 600 soldiers. And listen, I gotta say, that's a lot of casualties, like way more than an episode of Game of Thrones. But it's not just the Russians that are feeling the heat. Ukrainian forces are also taking some hits, and the deputy defense minister there is warning that the biggest blow is yet to come. Apparently, Russia has been ramping up their troops in the east, which has only made the situation even more difficult. On the bright side, Ukraine has been making some gains. They've recaptured a heavily fortified village and have taken over 8 settlements in the past 2 weeks. So they are definitely not going down without a fight. Now, things have been heating up on the diplomatic front as well. Russian opposition leader Alexei Navalny has urged his supporters to take a stand against Moscow's actions, which is pretty ballsy considering he's already behind bars. The U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken has asked China to be vigilant about private companies that may be providing Russia with technology that could be used against Ukraine, I gotta say. I'm not too surprised that China is involved in some way, given how much they like to stir shit up. Meanwhile, the British government is tightening their sanctions against Russia, which includes keeping assets frozen until Moscow agrees to pay compensation to Ukraine. And in a phone call between the Ukrainian president and the British prime minister, they discussed the need for long-range weapons and tougher sanctions on Russia. But the real kicker is this photograph of a car packed with explosives parked at the top of Ukraine's Kakhovka dam shortly before it collapsed. Apparently, this is just further evidence that Russia was behind the bombing, and let me tell you, that's some shady shit. Hungary is also catching some flack for barring access to 11 Ukrainian prisoners of war that Russia handed over. But honestly, can we really be too surprised? Hungary has always been a bit of a wild card in all this, and just when you thought things couldn't get any more intense, a report by the Swedish military warns that a military attack against Sweden from Russia could happen after their invasion of Ukraine. This report also stresses the importance of Sweden's swift entry into NATO. So that's about it, folks. It's a tough situation, and I don't really have a side on this one. All I know is that innocent people are getting hurt, and it's definitely not a good time. Stay safe out there and see ya.